So I consulted with my colleagues and I've been thinking I need a team of people to help me because being family is so hard. And what I'm noticing is two kind of polar opposite things, which is I have good news and bad news. The good news is I think you're okay and you're going to be okay, all of you. And the bad news is that there's some ways that everybody's not feeling so okay right now. And what I really appreciate hearing about is how you had fun together as a family, and you both uh, chose very intentionally when you're a lesbian couple, it's not that easy to have a baby. So you very intentionally chose to have a family that you feel supported enough in our current culture, that you were able to create that, and that it feels like you were saying, Donna, I think you were saying it feels like a gift. And then with all gifts, sometimes there comes burdens, and that it seems like you did pretty well for a long time, and that there's a kind of interesting overlap between Chelsea and Jessica becoming teenagers and your parental roles changing because Cynthia has such a big job now. You know, it sounds like you've always had a little bit of a split in terms of who was the primary breadwinner and who did more childcare, but it seems like it's gotten very distinct now. And then it seems like it's hard for everybody. And so, and the other thing that I'm thinking is that as I asked you, that there's a lot of tension and conflict. Well, two things I want to say. One about the tension and conflict, and what about you all are wishing for? To me, the tension and conflict that you're expressing with each other is it shows how much you care about each other and how close you are. Because I like to say hate is not the opposite of love, indifferences. And I think Elie Wiesel said that in different political context, but you know, there's no indifference here. You have very strong feelings and you get very charged up and very emotional. And I think that's very uncomfortable to live with and to be sitting with all those uncomfortable feelings. But to me, it's a reflection of how much you care about each other and how much you love each other. And in going along with the fact that when I asked you what you wish was different, that there's a way that all of you want to reconnect in a way that's appropriate for a family with a 14-year-old and a 16-year-old. You're not going to go on the teacup ride anymore, but like, how can you find ways to connect even when Cynthia is away? You know, whether I don't think that your mom, Donna, was talking about family therapy on Zoom, but maybe there's a way you can have fun together on and talk with each other when Cynthia's away. And Cynthia had ideas about how maybe you can even be creative about having more fun family time. So I'm feeling like in a context where you can move from this conflict to moving back to where you've been in the past, that some of everybody's distress can be relieved, and that, you know, maybe it's possible that Chelsea can handle things on her own in a context in which there's more calm and compassion and support, and where Jessica can do her best and not feel so stressed to have to worry about Chelsea, and where you as two parents can find a way to support each other even across the miles. So that's what and I don't think it necessarily, I agree, it is a problem. I agree with you both. It's a problem, and it doesn't have to be a lifelong problem. And so what I would propose is to just meet a few times and see if we can kind of soften the edges of what's happening here. So why don't you just take a moment and think about that, and I'll consult with my colleagues again.